Hello teacher, welcome. In this video, we are going to continue discussing facilitating laboratory and small group work. Okay, so basically we are going to focus again on how to facilitate what? Group work. So these are management strategies on cooperative learning that are essential and effective in maintaining student involvement. So let's go first with establishing positive interdependence on our learners. Again, positive interdependence. So how can we do this one? So we need to let our students understand that they need to value the performance of each member of the group. Okay? We need to let them understand that either they are considered to be performing or they are non-performing. Each of them has a value in the group. Meron talaga silang mako-contribute. Kahit gaano kaliit pa man yan, meron talaga silang mako-contribute. At dapat meron silang makontribute. Okay, I hope you understand that one. So, positive interdependence, hindi lang pwedeng na si leader lang at siya si secretary. Okay? So, in terms of conducting group work, you really need to encourage the learners to give at least one idea. And when they give the idea, dapat si leader din, dapat papaintindi mo kay group leader na i-accept yung idea kahit gaano pa man yan kaliit. Okay? So, if nakakatulong or tama yung idea naman. So, yun siya, positive interdependence na hindi lang si leader at siya secretary yung nagpe-perform within the group, but all of the members because each of them is important. Okay, next is the individual accountability. So, gaya ng na-mention natin on the former videos, no, when it comes to group activities, hindi pwedeng sa estudyante magsadig lang kay leader o secretary. But we need to establish to them the individual accountability that they are going to be graded individually. So, after the group work, meron tayong tinatawag na assessment. So, kapag hindi sila nakipagtulungan or hindi sila nakipag-cooperate sa kanilang mga group mates, when they have group work, may tendency na hindi sila makasagot during the quiz or during the assessment. So, kailangan ipaintindi sa kanila na though they are having group work, they will have individual testing later on. They will be graded individually and kailangan merong individual feedback. Okay? So, that is basically part of cooperative learning approach. Yan yung ideal. Hindi enough pag nagpag-group activity ka lang. Dapat meron talagang individual testing right after. Next is, we need to have face-to-face communication. This is very important when we are conducting group work. Meron bang group work na hindi nagpe-face-to-face yung mga estudyante? So, dapat as a teacher, in order for you to manage the behaviors as well, no, para dili magagubot, para to smooth ang transition when it comes to having group works, so dapat, you need to consider rearranging your furnitures. Okay? Kato nga, di ba, pinadrawing kayo ng isang effective science classroom layout. So, ideally, yung tables and chairs, kung meron man silang individual tables and chairs, no, dapat kato siyang ma-move or ma-rearrange anytime for them to have an easier kanang way of rearranging themselves or grouping themselves para pagkakandak aning face-to-face communication. Para sila maggrupo nimo sila like by 4 or by 6, something like that. So, dapat Again, ang kailangan i-consider diri is ang seating arrangements nila, ang imuhang classroom furniture nga dapat anytime pwede ra siya ma-move. Okay? Para easier for them to conduct face-to-face communication again. So, yeah. Next one, we need to develop their interpersonal skills. Okay? So, di ba pag interpersonal, it's something like, it has something to do with their, pakikipagkapwa tao. So, aside from face-to-face communication, it also have to do with, yung kanilang how they understand, how they communicate with their classmates. So one effective strategy is to teach students the interpersonal skills that they will be using in small group activities. So meron kang mga signals na gagamitin. So a technique that is effective is the thing we call T-chart, interpersonal T-chart. So as like just like this example here. So bakit siya T? Kasi T like this one, and then pinapagitan siya. Actually, there are two columns. So, ito yung main idea. And then, nahati siya. So, that's why it's T. So, looks like, okay, kapag, nganong interpersonal skills man ni siya teach? Okay, mura siya, looks like, mura ka og nag-lean forward. You are leaning forward. However, if si estudyante nag-lean forward siya, so, meaning to say, meron siyang ganito. Okay? My idea is this one, di ba? So, when, kapag si estudyante nag-lean forward siya, parang yung ibig niya, gusto niyang mag-share ng kanyang idea. My idea is this one. Okay? Kapag sinabi naman natin open posture, or so, I suggest, like yung confident lang, so I suggest, and then, taking turns naman, so individually, each of them will contribute to ideas, so we, taking turns man, so taking turns, so meaning lahat sila, so that's why we are using we could actually blah blah blah, and then, yeah, so this is an example of a material that we can use to improve the interpersonal skills of our learners. Okay, next is processing. Okay, so doon sa diniscuss natin na science, the theories or approaches that we can use, diba, if you can still remember in the science curriculum guide, meron doong reflective thinking. So dito pumapasok po si processing. Okay, so we will provide time for groups to process their work in important management strategies. So how can we do that? How can we ensure na ma-process nila? Merong reflective thinking po, teacher. So we will throw them what? Processing questions. Okay? So bakit kailangan bang mag-question right after the group activity? Kasi nga, 'di ba? Hindi enough na nagawa yung activity. Hindi enough na si cognitive and psychomotor domain lang. Kailangan merong affective domain. Okay, mag-reflect yun sila para makita nila kung unsay sense, unsay purpose, unsay gibuhat nila. Okay, naging effective ba yung strategy na ginawa nila as a group, or something like na-control ba nila yung kanilang emotion while doing the group activity? Something like that. So what are those processing questions? So here are some. Okay, so write positive statements about how each member contributed ideas in the activity, and then share these statements with the other group members. Okay, so what skills did you effectively use? Which need to be worked on? Ano yung kailangan i-improve? Another question, what behaviors contributed to learning in your group? Okay, so another, in what ways did your group encourage contributions of all members? How did you feel about participating in this task? Did you feel happy? Something like that. What did you learn from this activity? Of course, meron talagang dapat ganito, generalization. How would you do this activity differently? If hindi nag-work, what other strategies can you use? Okay, so did you participate fully in the activity? So, basically, hindi lang to siya para sa leader or sa secretary, kundi pati again for the non-performing student. So, in that way, maka-perform yun sila, kay mapugos man sila o answer, di ba, maka-reflect sila. So, if ever hindi sila naka-participate fully in this activity, with this given question, they will be encouraged to participate in the next group activity. Okay, so now for your assessment or for your task is you are going to make a list. So you are going to recall, look back into your past experiences during your elementary and secondary years. So let me read the general instruction. So you are going to make a table with 2 columns. On the first column, list at least 3 behaviors that you can remember that was your behavior when you were in your elementary level and secondary level years. On the second column, have another list on how your teacher or advisor managed that certain behavior. Okay? Excuse me. So I hope you have learned something. So let's go back to this the content of this video. So earlier we have meet Jacob Conin. Yeah, he suggested the strategies in dealing the misbehaviors of students, and he mentioned about witness na kailangan alam mo na ma-feel ang estudyante mo na you are with them. So one way to do that is through eye contact, asking questions, and physically moving around the classroom to prevent misbehavior. Next is overlapping. Yan siya. Overlapping. And then, smoothness. Dapat smooth yung transition sa yung klase. Next is, dapat hindi maputol yung momentum. Again, hindi dapat maputol yung momentum. Dapat maintain siya. Hindi dapat habaan masyado yung lecture para masustain yung interest ni learner. Si group focus and accountability, kailangan si estudyante, they know that though they are grouped, but they should be accountable for their learning individually. Okay? So, yun yung mga tips natin kanina. And here are some strategies when facilitating laboratory and small group work, starting with positive interdependence, individual accountability, face-to-face communication, interpersonal skills, and processing. Okay? So, thank you so much, teacher, for listening. I hope you have learned something, and have a good day.